Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Hearts of Iron 4 here today, another mod spotlight for you guys. This mod today is called Hearts of Iron 4 1934 Number 1. Look at the background. Oh my gosh, the background looks so cool. Like, yes, it's Nazis, but look at the background. Oh, that looks beautiful. Okay, this guy right here with the cigarette, that's a man right there. That's a real man. But what this mod is supposed to do, the only things that I've ever read about this mod or seen about it is what I've read in the description of what this mod is supposed to be about. So I have barely a clue of what's changed, but I'll figure it out as we go. But what this is supposed to do is it puts you in the beautiful world that is the world. In 1934, the Great Depression is happening. The Weimar Republic, or Weimar, I think it's Weimar Republic, is about to fall. So, yeah, you can basically change history however you want with this mod, which is awesome. So, the next most beautiful thing about this mod is look at that picture of Hindenburg. Look at that. That looks fantastic. That looks like it should have been in the base game. That looks great. But the Weimar Republic is about to fall. The founders and the Nazi Party continue to grow. All over Germany, a wave of revenge after the defeat of the First World War, and Hitler seems to be the chosen one. Chosen by the people to rule the people. It must not be doubted any longer before the Republic collapses under Hitler's Nazi yoke. So we're going to go ahead and select the Weimar Republic here today. As you can see, we have Hindenburg with Zentrum going in as Democratic. The NSDAP with Adolf Hitler, so you can see it's a 40-40 split. And then we have a 20% communist under Wilhelm Peck, or Pieck. I think that's how you say that. So let's go ahead and start up as the Weimar Republic, and let's see what we can do. I know you guys have been missing the Hearts of Iron 4 content, and the one reason why I haven't been making a lot of Hearts of Iron 4 content for you guys is, well, number one, it's because I'm kind of getting a little bit, like, dragged out. That's why I'm making some other content that's not Hearts of Iron 4. And also, because there's not really, I mean, it's been a stalemate of mods. I haven't really seen anything cool besides this that just popped up. So this should be really cool. So as you can see here, with the Weimar Republic under Hindenburg, looks like base things are still base things here, I would have to guess. Adolf Hitler about to take over power. Let's go ahead and see what we can do. So we can reform the nation. We can reform the German general staff, which is very cool. Adopt the Nazi flag. Rhineland, form the SS. So if we do reform the nation, okay. The Knight of the Long Knives, which is very cool. I like that a lot. That's going to be cool. And it looks like after that, the rest of it seems to be very much just base game. So let's go ahead and do reform the nation. Takes 70 days to do so. Let's go ahead and see research and things. What do we have here? Everything seems to be the same. Same there. Same there. Same there. This is, of course, all the same, because that never changes. Except, yeah, that's still the same, too. Air, still the same. Air doctrines, still the same. Engineering, still the same. Industry, still the same. So all the research is basically still the same. So let's go ahead and just... 6? What? Why does that take so long? 2 years? Oh, we're not in 1936. Fuck me running. That's the only thing that sucks. You basically have to wait 2 years before you can even start researching things. We'll go ahead and start them now, I guess. Just because that's basically all we can do. We can go ahead and do that. That wouldn't take too long. And then I guess we're just going to have to do that. Yeah. Well, then it's going to take... Oh, whoops. Sorry about that. That was a plate of mine that was on my my desk. That was terrifying. But this is going to be this is actually going to be pretty tough. It's going to be a toughie. Let's go ahead and see what we can get ourselves into today. So Italy, of course, we have Mussolini, who at the moment is actually not at war with Ethiopia, which is very cool. It's actually awesome that you can see that Ethiopia isn't getting trampled to death when you start the game. Besides that, I think everything else is basically still the same. You got your puppets. We can see that. Soviet Union, of course, still doing peachy. Britain, still doing all right. United States, yada, yada, yada. Let's go ahead and see what are the factions looking like. So, of course, we're still a part of the Axis to start. I don't know how I feel about that because I don't know if that would have been the case. And then we have the Allies and the Comintern. Very good. So everything basically is still the same there. But gosh, that picture looks fantastic. Whoever made that, A+. That looks awesome. If that's just a base thing, then I've never seen Hindenburg in the base game. And for that, good job for you just putting it in there. Political advisors. It does look like we have a fairly decent amount of political advisors. Fantastic. I'm surprised you can't choose Hitler for one of these. That would be awesome. Because it makes sense. I mean, he's the ruler of his own party. He got, would it be anointed or something like that? He got chosen as chancellor, and then he basically took over Germany that way. So it makes sense. So first is reforming the nation. People have suffered a great deal from the crushing defeat of the empire during the First World War. It is I think that's supposed to be time. It is time now to restore our past glory. And this does. Hitler has big plans for Germany, but many SA do not see him from this view. Now we can adopt the Nazi flag, which is very cool. We could do Rhineland forming the SS, which is cool. That gives us the SS division template, which is awesome. We can do Anschluss after that, but we need to get, of course, the 550,000. We could befriend Japan or China, depending on how they do. I don't know which one I'm going to want to choose for that. I think for the flags, they've taken that from, oh god, what mod was it? I think it was it Black Ice? It was one of the mods, I know. Except for that flag. That flag is still, I think, generally, I don't know. Some flags are changed, some flags aren't. Britain doesn't look to be changed. The Soviet Union does. Actually, surprisingly enough, these guys do. China has theirs changed. France does not. Of course, the Weimar Republic does. Poland does. Czechoslovakia and Austria do. What is this? Oh, they're guaranteeing independence. I see. Really? That's unlike the AI to do so. Wow, all of the Balkans, I think it's because of the last DLC that all of these guys are becoming friends. Turkey. Really, Romania? Why? Why would you do this? Why would you do this to us? But basically, we're going to see what happens when we reform the nation, which is about to take place. Let's go ahead and trade with the United States for now, because we're technically democratic. We can do that. And then we'll trade British Malaya for our rubber. Reforming the nation just got done, which took care of our thing of being really angry after World War I. Now we're going to do the Night of the Long Knives. This is when Hitler basically comes to power. Oh my gosh, this is actually really cool. I like this a lot. I very much do like this a lot. Being a history guy, I really like this a lot. Ooh, you're gonna pop off in a couple of years, I think. You might pop off a couple of years early if they haven't changed all of that. Italy, how you doing? Good, good, very good. For you guys wondering what my next series might be, I'm thinking about maybe, because they just uploaded another submod for Millennium Dawn. It's called the Modern Warfare mod, and I might do that, because I might do that with the United States. You guys have always really wanted to see another US playthrough in Millennium Dawn Modern Day, so I might do that in 2017. see what else we can get ourselves into. But I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with Hearts of Iron just yet. Rated is back, so I'm going to be recording with Rated GT very soon. Hopefully, that would be very fun if we got to do that. I'm going to see basically when it's his free time, when's my free time. Of course, I don't have much for free time because of the musicals and stuff that I am doing at the moment. Just go ahead and build just outside of it for now. I do want to get mostly military factories going, which actually would have been illegal to do. For Germany, they can't really have all of those factories, and they shouldn't have any troops actually out onto the fields. That was another thing that Hitler did that wasn't allowed, is he built up the military. Military factories, we have some free ones. It looks like we actually have everything in here that we need. I'm going to go ahead and put these to infinite, just because we're not going to really use them all too much. This is just a spotlight, so I'm allowed to do that. Let's go ahead and do that, that, and that, and then that, and that, and then that. And then let's go ahead and do that. I don't think we're building any tanks. That's kind of sad. Let's go ahead and build some light tanks here. And do that. Now we have a lot of things that we have to trade again. Venezuela, you'll trade with us. I know you will. And the Dutch Indies will trade with us as well. Fantastic. Night of the Long Knives. Are you almost done? I hope so. Fantastic, fantastic indeed. So you can see a 40-40 split. That's crazy. I wonder what would happen if you didn't choose to do any of these things and just went with the Weimar Republic for a while. I think that would be cool. Ooh, industrial construction. Very cool. What else can we do? The Graf Zeppelin. Cool. Very cool indeed. Plan Z. Befriending Sweden. Now, the only thing... Nope, there it is. I was going to say, the only thing that I don't see is something that has to do with nuclear construction. But I just saw it, so we're good. Perfectly fine with that. Couple days left until the Night of the Long Knives. And then we will figure out just what will happen to the world. The Night of the Long Knives just happened. There we go. Hitler takes power and gets rid of communists in the army. Let them rot. Very cool. So the Zentrum is still a thing, but now it's a 49-49 split, and he takes care of all the communists, which is nuts. So we can adopt the Nazi flag, and we can form the SS. Surprisingly enough, it says Hitler takes power. Hitler did no such thing. Hitler is not in power. Not at all. I don't really know who to choose here. We could choose a fascist demagogue going to Joseph Goebbels to get Hitler going, but I just... Hindenburg looks so good. I don't want to change it, you know? He just looks fantastic. Got that research done, but honestly, we can't even choose much for research right now just because everything is so backed up. Maybe we could do land doctrine things. Yeah, that's basically the only thing we're going to be able to research for a while. Can modify the government, but I don't know if I want to do that. The Football World Cup. The Italians win the World Cup on their own territory. What a disappointment. Wow. So I wonder, because, yeah, there we go. Ethiopian war logistics. Okay. And what happens there? Wow, so we got, yeah, there's declare war on Ethiopia there, but it has to be after the 1st of September of 1935 before they're allowed to do that. Very cool. So there are some countries that have gotten a little bit of a change because of this. Has the United States also got one? It looks like speech of Franklin Roosevelt. Start negotiations. Okay. Wow, really, really cool. I like this a lot. Okay. Nice. Very cool. I like this. Apply new measures. Sign the treaty. Ah, okay. So they have the United States has a lot of things going on with their country. It's just the country list. How do I go ahead and look at them? I can't see what the things are, but they are trying to deal with this Great Depression that's happening right now. The Weimar Republic is about to be destroyed. Looks like the Germans are moving in. Hitler is trying to take over Germany. Wonder if it'll actually be able to happen. Who knows? The Soviet Union, do you have anything really big? Restart an anti-famine plan. Very cool. Huh. Permanent revolution. Trotsky gains a better leader trait. Okay, that's pretty decent. The Great Purge. Oh, so you can either choose to like destroy Trotsky or you can choose to help him, I think. That's what that is. That's very cool. Smish? What is that? Oh, cool. Oh, but they have to be at war with one of us. Got it. Makes sense. Partisan suppression. Cool. Oh, this is awesome. I like this a lot. And then, of course, the Japanese. Looks like you have a few new things, but not too much. There's adopting the Nazi flag. Looks like we didn't actually adopt that flag, which is weird. We could form the SS if we so want to. Ooh, cool. Very cool. Let's go ahead and do that, because that's also new. I haven't seen anything popping up about changing the flag. I don't know if this mod is actually completely done or not as well. Literally just popped up, but it does, I mean, it has some cool things to it. I mean, just starting out. Let's see what happens if we put Goebbels in. Oh, the death of Hindenburg. Oh, I see. So Hindenburg dies, and Hitler is free to exercise power as he wishes. So now, as you can see, the flag has changed. Hitler is here. Sure, I don't care. We're now fascist anyway. We're huge in fascism. Holy Lord, we are gigantic. Very good. And it looks like we have limited conscription already, so we do have a pretty decent amount to already choose from. That's awesome. So, yeah, it doesn't really add too much to the game, but it gives you a little bit more of a nice flavor. A nice little bit of flavor. United States starts negotiating. What does that do? I wish I could click into it and read it. That would be fantastic. The speech of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Can't click into that at all. It says it has no effect, which is kind of sad, but it takes 140 days to do it. Oh man, that would be that takes 245? Wow. Jeez. That is a long time. This is a long time. Thinking about it, this takes years to do. My God. But there we go, the German Reich now in control. Hitler now takes his rightful place on the throne of Germany. And I wonder what he's going to do about it. They are bitter losers, and we do have the Treaty of Versailles, which also very much sucks for Germany, but oh well, what are you going to do? It's been so long since I've ever taken over the world as Germany. I kind of feel bad. I haven't given Germany much love as I should. So sad, so sad. Soviet Union, how are you doing? You're still doing the anti-famine. Japan is doing Fortress of Japan, which I know is a thing that you can actually just do in the base game. Found our own faction. So they must have founded their own to be able to do that. No? Well, that's very surprising to me, because it does say that to do that, you have to find your own faction. And then it just does. Oh, just kidding. So you do actually have to go all the way down here. So they haven't founded their faction yet. They might. They could. But they haven't. Makes some sense. And they do like us to start. So we could get the Japanese and the Italians to join us. And possibly even the Spanish. I'm very surprised, actually, that the Spanish never really changed and fought with Germany. I would think they would, but they never did. We could boost popularity here. We do have the political power to do so. Let's go ahead and see what happens if we boost political stuff in Germany. Sorry about that. I'm getting a Snapchat from Rose. If you all want to put down in the comment section below and say hi to Rose, feel free to do so. For those of you who are new and you don't know Rose, Rose is my girlfriend. So, yeah, she's been featured in videos before, way back in the past. And we were thinking of getting Dream Daddy and playing it on the channel, the both of us. I think that'd be pretty fun to do. Let's go ahead and do forming of the SS. I didn't read that. What is it? Hitler, after removing the SA, decides to form an elite army group, continuer, of the best elements of the country. Very cool. And this one, Hitler chooses the Nazi flag to the German Reich. And of course we have the Rhineland, which we all know. So you actually will no longer be a demilitarized zone. It may be reversed if you are confronted and back down. Ooh, very cool. Of course, this is all in the base game, as we all know. Industrial construction. Reforming the German staff, I believe, is also new. Which is, reforming the German major state will provide an organizational bonus of their divisions. Wow, nice. Very good. Army innovations we already know of. Equip the army with panzers. Improves armor using technologies bonus, which is, of course, the panzers. Research on the Panzerkopfwagen 1. Oh, so they have switched something in the research. They switched the names? No, that might be also in the base game. I'm not exactly sure. But if it's not, then that's also new. Goodness, it's been so long since I played the base game. Ugh. So we could so early on justify war against Poland if we wanted to just take them out early. I'm not exactly sure if I want to do that, though. I think this Hitler is just going to lay low for a little while, figure out what he has to do, and then do it from there. France, I didn't see your stuff. Did you change anything? Metropolitan France. Oh, cool. So you can do both of these things. Very cool. So you can work on your colonies as well as working on your actual place. I like that a lot. Support the status quo, aggressive focus, defensive focus. I'd probably choose, if I was France, I'd choose defensive focus, honestly. Another one of the things, call of June 18th. Huh. So that's new. I know that's new. Ooh, in Syria. So you're dealing with more of your colonies. Call the Africans into fight. Ooh. Nice. Non-core manpower plus 5%. That's actually massive. That's great for France. Because France actually has a fairly decent amount of territory here in Africa. That's fantastic. That's actually awesome. And plus, I think that would also count for Syria. Ooh, France. You could be a powerhouse if we actually played as you and did well. But one of the things I was saying, I don't know if I actually finished the sentence, is I actually haven't played as France and defended myself against the Germans before, so that would also be very fun to do at some point in time. United Kingdom. What do you got? Oh, so you can actually just start. Ooh, cool. Yeah, I like that. Limited rearmament, reinforce the empire. Oh man, this is back when the British still thought of themselves as an empire, which of course by this point they kind of still were. If you look at this, I mean, it's literally just Britain and all of their allies. So yeah, Britain was still kind of a powerhouse even back in this time. They weren't really good militarily for the longest time, but their navy was kick-ass. So take that as you may. So we just did this, which is fantastic. I don't know why the Zeppelin moves into naval rearmament, but I don't know. Now we're going to reform the German General Staff, because I know that that is new, which is also fantastic. Looks like all of these, wow, all these troops are actually very well. Oh, SS Adolf Hitler Division, very cool. I hope Adolf Hitler isn't in that division. That would be terrifying. Did we get any new generals? I don't know if we would. Moldel, Klug, Rundstedt, Paulus, Rommel, Manstein. Looks like most of the generals are still the same. Mods that I really love, if they're historically accurate, is putting Himmler as one of these guys. Because, of course, Himmler was a general. You may not think it, but he was. He was an SS general, basically. He was the leader of the SS, so he still would be able to command troops. And if I had Himmler as a potential general, I would only have him for SS divisions. But now if we look at this, we have SS divisions, which are fucking grand. They are actually really good to start. That would be great to train up some, if I could get it going. SS divisions right in... We'll actually put it right outside Berlin, right there. We'll actually train them all up together. If we can get all the training started. But basically, with this mod, it also gives you a little bit more time to prepare. Because, of course, in the base game, it starts you off in 1936, where you kind of have about 2 to 3 years to prepare. And now, you actually have a good bit more to prepare, which is amazing. So you could really stock up on your... your equipment. You can stock up on your tanks and your trucks and things, and you can also really get a fuck ton more troops ready before the war actually starts, where you could probably just demolish the world by that point. And you could really take that time to also build up the Germans' quite sad navy compared to the British, which would mean that you could possibly get a very, very nice German navy going against the British. That would be really cool to see. Spain here. What are you doing? You're actually now over everybody else, so I wonder if you'll change at some point. I think you only change after you get to 50. But I'm not exactly sure about that. Italy, how are you? Good. Good, you're doing great. I actually didn't check Italy. Yeah, I did. I did check Italy. So they have declared war on Ethiopia, claims on Yugoslavia, industrial reform. Most of this looks just like the base game, but there are some new things, like declaring war in Ethiopia is, of course, new. Captain's office, I would think, is new. Recruitment of experienced officers, I don't think is new. I actually think that's just a part of the base game, but if it is / isn't, who knows? What else do we got here? Of course, Ethiopia doesn't start off at war. That would actually be really fun to start as Ethiopia and see if you could actually bounce back against the Italians, since you actually have a little bit of time before the Italians start coming and knocking on your doorstep. That'd be very cool. Beautiful SS division. I wonder why they're called the SS Adolf Hitler division. Maybe that's just one of them, because these are just called Panzer divisions. Which I'm very surprised why these guys are called different. Of course, we can't do Rhineland because we don't have... it's not the 1st of January of 1936, but that does absolutely aid you with training up units, so that way you could do Rhineland. Basically, from here, you could do Rhineland, and you could move. I mean, right after that, just go into Anschluss, and just immediately, boom, boom, war. I mean, you would just be massive. Be crazy. And honestly, like, a lot of people would absolutely hate me for saying this, and it's not a Nazi standpoint, it's not a Hitler standpoint, but just off of the fact of what Hitler, like, ex-nay all of the Holocaust stuff, that was absolutely horrid, that was terrible, that's what made Hitler such a really terrible leader, and all of his certain religions and certain ethnicities and all that, that's what made him terrible. But if you think about it, if you really sit down and think about it, Adolf Hitler lived in a country that was just absolutely devastated after World War I, and of course the Treaty of Versailles, and then of course the Great Depression. He united the entirety of the people of Germany into one flag, into one group, and then he went on from there to become the Chancellor and almost take over the world. He almost took over the world. I think if he would have, if Adolf Hitler would have actually like taken over the parts of Europe that he did, and then solely worked on destroying the United Kingdom and not worrying so much about the Soviet Union, because of course the Soviet Union, Stalin didn't actually want to fight Germany. They were like, look, if you don't come against us and fight us, we won't attack you. We don't care. You know, we're not going to have, like, if you don't cross our border, we won't cross yours, you know? He made a pact with Stalin. That rarely ever happens, honestly. This man Stalin could kill anyone. He could kill anyone he wanted, and it doesn't matter, because that man was just he was crazy. He was fucking nuts. But if Adolf Hitler would have just consolidated all of his troops into attacking Britain before the United States even came in to the war, the United Kingdom would have been destroyed. Germany would have occupied Great Britain, plus all of its allies, because of course they all go under the United Kingdom and the crown. Once Germany destroys the crown, basically Adolf Hitler becomes king of the United Kingdom, takes over all of the freaking colonies. Some may revolt, and, you know, of course Germany would have to worry about doing that. But then Germany could literally turn all of their attention over to the Soviet Union and have a united push with all of their troops against the Soviet Union. I don't know why. Hitler also had, of course, some mental issues. There was reports of him, not reports, but there was, like, speculations that he had certain types of STDs and things. Like, I can't remember it, but it fucked with his brain. And that's why he basically went insane. Of course, that's just speculations. We don't actually know if, you know, Hitler was like that. But, man, if Hitler would have just sat down and been a normal person for a second and just thought, okay, how do I win this thing? I'm on a two-front war, you know? And he wasn't on a two-front war after he destroyed Poland and didn't go after the Soviet Union for a little while. He wasn't on a two-front war. He was literally, all of his troops were this way. Granted, yes, he didn't have the Navy. Announced their alliance. Yugoslavian requests sale of airplanes. I think this is actually very much new. Realizing its strategic weakness, the Yugoslavian Air Force has initiated a crash program to modernize and expand its force. Significant money reserves have been set aside to cover the purchase. A commission is traveling around Europe to look for some new sources of fighters and medium bombers. Given the urgency of the issue, the Yugoslavians have insisted on immediate delivery or transfer of planes directly from the producer. We can approve of this, which means that we would give them 50 fighters to Yugoslavia, gains Yugoslavian aircraft purchase, which grants consumer goods factories -5% for 180 days, but gets the event the German Reich approves the sale of fighters. Approve the sale of bombers from the reserve, so we can sell them bombers, 25 of them for 180 days, or we can't spare anything. Honestly, we could probably spare fighters to the Yugoslavians. Not actually the smartest idea, because if the Italians are wanting to destroy the Yugoslavians later, I mean, they're going to have a little bit of German weaponry with their side, but, you know, might as well make a little bit of money while we're at it. But yeah, Hitler, if he would have just... I see it as ex-nay all the Holocaust stuff. Hitler is a very, 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 very terrible person because of that. But if you think of it as just a leader standpoint, he united the entirety of Germany in literally less than like 4 years. That's absolutely insane. I mean, when you look at the United States right now, when it comes to the last election, and now we have a president in there, which most people think as a joke. I mean, we can't even unite ourselves. Granted, we're fucking massive. Germany's tiny, but it's the same kind of system. Hitler just did it better and just told the people what they wanted to hear, and then they flocked to him. Donald Trump said a lot of things that people were like, he's probably never going to get elected. And he got a few votes from people that's like, oh, I'm going to make it a fucking joke and just vote for him. Look what happened. He became president that way. I mean, it's crazy. What Donald Trump did is he got the rural people, the people of the South, to, he told them about a lot of their issues and how he could solve them. He also went up north and was like, hey, I'm a businessman. I know how to do this stuff. And he actually got certain businessmen, of course, on his side. And that's how he got funded a lot of his money. I can almost guarantee you that's a way that he got funded a lot of his money. But Donald Trump couldn't even unite the nation. Granted, I don't know, because they were both very terrible candidates. I actually wish that somebody like, Mike Huckabee, Ben Carson, I wish Paul Ryan would run for fucking president. God, I love that man. But Mike Huckabee would have been good. I'm trying to remember his goddamn name. Florida, the senator from Florida. I can't fucking believe I forgot his name. What the fuck is his name? Marco Rubio. There it is. Marco Rubio would have been good, but he was always about speechwriters and things. He really didn't know how to say his own piece. And that's what separated Donald from a lot of the other Republicans. The Republicans were always used to this system of like, I have to say all of these certain things to get the people to enjoy me. Donald said whatever the fuck he wanted, and that's why people came to him. Because they were like, he doesn't give a fuck who he upsets or who he does like this or that to. And I mean, yes, that makes sense, but you have to think about this in a huge standpoint. I know this literally just became a political argument or a political talk, but I mean, there's actually not much to this mod, so it's actually cool that I'm speaking about something else. But if you think about it, Donald, being the man that he is, speaking the way he is, that's why he got a lot of controversy to him, and that's why people don't believe that he's a really good, strong leader, which, to me, even to me, I don't believe he's as strong and as smart as he initially told himself out to be for the people. Just because granted, the couple things that I should say that are good about Donald Trump so far, there's been a lot of things that I'm even like, but the good things about Donald Trump so far is the stock market has never been higher. Which is fucking nuts, because the stock market has been bad for a while, and now it's starting to raise like none other. And he's selling what I don't really know about is he's selling a lot of money in weaponry, but I think he's selling it to kind of questionable countries. He sold, I think, what was it, at least $100 trillion or $100 billion over to Saudi Arabia in guns and stuff. That's a little terrifying. I mean, just a little bit. I mean, we haven't really had much of a problem with Saudi Arabia before, a little bit, but not too crazy. But I mean, it's still in the Middle East where if that gets into the wrong hands, you're fighting people that has the same weaponry as you do, So I don't know. Political talk always gets me a little bit this is what I think, but tell me down in the comment section below what you all think. Do you think Hitler was, even though, X-nay all of the Holocaust stuff and all of that stuff, X-nay all of that, don't believe it didn't exist, but, push it aside and just think of Hitler as a leader. Do you think he united the people, and do you think he was a strong leader, or do you think he was a terrible one? I actually want to know this in the comment section below. I think this would be really a really cool discussion to have. But I think that's about as much as the mod has to offer, really, at this moment. I really hope that the mod creators come into here and break this down to a lot more stuff. Make it a lot more historic. That's what I'm wanting. If we're going to have a playthrough of this time period, make it historic. I want to see all the history that you can possibly give me. And then put down in the comment section below if you like my Millennium Dawn idea, or if you want to see something different, maybe with Millennium Dawn or a different mod. Subscribe to see more, of course, because we're going to be doing a lot more Hearts of Iron 4, LSPDFR with GTA 5, and then possibly some other games as well. I got a lot of other games to possibly show you guys, so please put all of your suggestions down in the comments section below. Like the video, tells me you want me to continue with beautiful Hearts of Iron 4 content like I've been doing for so long. And then, yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Till then, Glenn Games signing off as always. Take care, everyone.